Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Thomas. You're watching an ABC 10 Plus recap of stories you may have missed. We're following the latest after a terrifying moment in Shingle Springs. A young boy was almost kidnapped. Then we hit the back roads. John Bartel investigates Bigfoot sightings and takes us to a center dedicated to those looking to learn more. The ABC 10 Plus recap starts now.
It was a traffic nightmare for thousands of commuters in the valley this morning after a shooting involving a CHP officer closed southbound Interstate 5 near Lathrop for nearly 10 hours. ABC 10's Gabriel Porras spent the day there gathering the details.
Yeah, he has the latest on the investigation and traffic conditions.
Soon after sunrise on southbound Interstate 5 near Highway 120, the sound of speeding cars returned. The traffic flies by Edward Knessek's backyard, but last night while he was watching a documentary, it was something much different flying.
I heard about 5 shots. Shortly thereafter, I heard what sounded like a machine gun. There was very rapid shots, but I understand there was a gunfight up there, so it could have been one or more people shooting at the same time to give it the effect of a machine gun.
The first signs of the shooting screeching across police radios after 10:40 Wednesday night.
Party in the Corvette is still armed and shooting at passing vehicles.
The CHP says it started with reports of a crash and gunshots fired. When officers got to the scene, they found an armed suspect, which is when they say an officer-involved shooting happened.
With possibly shots fired, southbound 5 north of 120.
The suspect died at a hospital Thursday morning. The San Joaquin County District Attorney's Office says no officers or bystanders were injured.
The highway patrol showed up, and they were going door to door to ensure that nobody was injured.
But many were disrupted. A major stretch of southbound I-5 shut down for almost 10 hours, turning 2-lane roads into interstates and diverting drivers into the River Islands neighborhood.
There was a horrendous amount of traffic.
Daylight brought back traffic to the freeway and questions about what happened in the dark.
There were real bright lights out here, and it was 2 patrol cars. I asked him what was going on, and he said there was a shooting up on the freeway, but he didn't elaborate any more than that.
The freeway has since reopened, but the investigation is ongoing. The CHP says it is a criminal investigation and that the district attorney's office is assisting. For now, in Lathrop, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
New developments today in the deadly Reno casino shooting. Sparks police confirming the suspect, 26-year-old Dakota Hoover, died overnight. Hoover's accused of shooting and killing 3 men Monday at the valet area of the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino. Police say he shot 3 other people who survived. He was then shot by police. Today, family members of one of the survivors revealed more details about the moments Matthew Sittler and his group of friends were shot. They say he was able to survive thanks to one of the valet employees who jumped right into action.
This man saved Matt's life by being courageous when shots were still being fired, jumps out of his vehicle, grabs Matt, and Matt collapsed and fell backwards unconscious.
Honestly, I don't look at it as being heroic. It was more of just an instinct. It was more just an instinct, and I would do it again.
The family says they will start a GoFundMe for the valet driver to get him the help he needs after witnessing the tragedy. They also said in total it was a group of 13 men who were at the resort for a bachelor party. 2 of them died. The 3rd victim, killed, had been driving in the area when the shooting happened. Tonight, a Shingle Springs mother is sharing her family's terrifying ordeal after she says someone tried to kidnap her son.
El Dorado County deputies are now investigating, but as you can imagine, that mom is demanding answers. ABC 10's Austin Castro has a closer look at what happened.
This quiet Shingle Springs neighborhood is where Brittany Moreno says an attempt was made to kidnap her 10-year-old son. Her son now safely back home. However, she's now raising new questions as the investigation continues. For Brittany Moreno, last Friday was one of the most traumatic days for her and her son. Moreno sharing on social media what she believes is an attempted kidnapping.
We did receive a call for service from Shingle Springs on Friday, and that stemmed an investigation since that call, and then in subsequent days. It has been under investigation with detectives from our investigations division.
The sheriff's office said they aren't able to share specific details due to the nature of the investigation. Moreno, however, alleges her son was abducted from their yard in broad daylight. According to her, a neighbor returned her son about 90 minutes later, saying he came crying out of the woods behind his house a quarter-mile away. She adds her son told her someone dragged him off the swing and into the woods and was able to escape. Moreno told me off camera she was disturbed by the response from the El Dorado County Sheriff's Office. Among the claims, she says the Sheriff's Office suggested there was a chance he made it up and officers didn't check the scene. I asked the Sheriff's Office if there's anything that could have been done differently on their part in a situation like this.
Fully reviewing it, that's going to take a little bit of time to kind of look and see if there is. And if there is, that will be addressed. But right now, it's still, it's early on.
The Sheriff's Office now reminding parents to be mindful of their children's whereabouts and surroundings. As for the Sheriff's Office investigation,
we use the methods in certain times that are available to us or that we deem appropriate at that time. And these investigations, they take time.
Brittany is asking anyone who lives in the area that may have information or surveillance video to come forward. Reporting in Shingle Springs, Austin Castro, ABC 10.
Developing tonight, Governor Gavin Newsom says he wants to fight fire with fire and redraw California's congressional districts, and he wants to do it through a special election later this year. He talked about his plans at a news conference just hours ago. His proposal includes holding a special election in early November. He wants to redraw the maps to make districts more favorable to Democrats with the goal of gaining more seats in Congress. And this comes in response to President Trump's push for redistricting in red states. Trump has said he wants Republicans to pick up 5 new seats in Texas and others elsewhere to maintain GOP control of the House in the midterms. Now, yesterday, Texas Republicans proposed new district maps. Today, Governor Newsom had this to say.
They're doing a midterm rejection of objectivity and independence. A act that we could criticize from the sideline or an act that we can respond to in kind, fight fire with fire.
The governor says proposed redistricting maps are not yet available, that he has not seen any, and that he will have more information to share in the next week or two. He says he wants this to be a transparent process, ultimately decided by California voters. And holding a special election in California could cost more than $200 million. The 2021 governor recall election, according to the Secretary of State's office, cost just over $200 million. The money came from counties and the state. Now, tonight, according to an analysis from Republican State Assembly member Carl DeMaio's office, that number with inflation and increase in registered voters could put the cost of a special election in 2025 around $250 million. We reached out to the governor's office for comment on whether any costs about a special election have been discussed and who would foot the bill if a special election is held, and we have not yet heard back. Well, it was a bill causing a lot of controversy on the Assembly floor this year, and now Governor Newsom has signed it into law. Starting January 1st, buying a 15, 16, or 17-year-old for sex will be considered a felony. ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen joins us in studio after talking with the governor and the bill's original author.
Well, Becca, Democratic Assembly member Maggie Krell initially introduced this bill, but it came with a lot of criticisms from her Democratic colleagues and support from Republicans. Now, through the process, Krell was removed as the primary author, but tonight she tells me it was never about recognition. She just wanted safeguards in place for sex trafficking victims.
A grown man who buys a 16 or 17-year-old for commercial sex, that will now be able to be charged as a felony.
Following a heated debate over Assembly Bill 379, Governor Gavin Newsom officially made it law. The bill aims to protect victims of sex trafficking, specifically those 3 years under the age of 18, by closing a loophole that previously made it a misdemeanor to traffic 16 to 17-year-olds. Advocacy groups had pushed back on the change.
There were a lot of youth advocates and activists who were concerned about the way that automatic felonies levied against older teens in relationships with other minors.
Democratic Assemblymember Maggie Krell first introduced the bill, but was removed as the primary author in a dramatic moment on the Assembly floor and replaced with Democratic Assembly members Stephanie Nguyen and Nick Schultz. Still, Krell says she's proud of this bill and is grateful the governor signed it.
If men are willing to go out there and be part of that and buy them and use their own disposable income for their pleasure and not pay any regard to what these girls are going through, they should be prosecuted as felons.
During a press conference at McClellan, Governor Gavin Newsom reiterated his support for this legislation.
I was very grateful the legislature took the leadership, made some amendments, worked across party lines to get that bill on my desk, and I was honored to sign it.
Sacramento County Sheriff Jim Cooper has been a vocal supporter of the bill since its start and says, in part, this is a major step forward for public safety and protecting our children. The sheriff's office has conducted multiple operations to address sex trafficking and says this new law will help with their enforcement.
The biggest thing is now are the penalties that go along with it. This won't simply be a misdemeanor where they get a ticket and go off on their way.
The law will take effect on January 1st. It would also require those convicted to complete a program on human trafficking and make it a misdemeanor for anyone to loiter in any public space with the intent to buy commercial sex.
An additional fine of $1,000 could also be required to anyone convicted, and that money would go towards the Survivor Support Fund. Becca?
Jeannie, thank you very much. Well, roughly 4 in 10 Californians carry medical debt. That's according to the California Healthcare Foundation. Right now, there's a bill moving through the state legislature that could offer some financial relief for patients. The assembly bill would require hospitals to check whether patients are eligible for charity care or discounted payments before sending them a bill. The California Hospital Association continues to oppose the bill, however. A spokesperson for the organization says hospitals already promote their financial assistance programs. The bill recently went through a round of amendments after negotiations with the hospital lobby. The legislation has to pass the state Senate by September 12th. Well, California's large firefighting fleet just got bigger. Today, Governor Newsom, along with CAL FIRE, announced the addition of the final 2 of 16 Firehawk helicopters. They arrived at Sacramento's McClellan Airfield. The governor says this couldn't come at a better time after last week's dangerous lightning strikes in the Sierra.
And so this is the time where we are particularly focused and energized, and we are now more committed to pre-positioning, protecting, and continuing to prevent, to the extent possible, the impacts of Mother Nature.
The state now has the largest civilian helicopter firefighting fleet in the world, according to the governor. Well, wildfire season is year-round in California. ABC10 created a special to prepare. We talked to survivors, hear from the Red Cross on what to pack in case of an evacuation, and learn how firefighters are training in more populated areas. Download the free ABC10 Plus TV streaming app to watch California wildfires preparing for peak danger. New tonight, President Donald Trump signed an executive order that has tariffs against dozens of trading partners going into effect in 7 days instead of tomorrow. Reporter Maribel Gonzalez now with a breakdown of what goods could be affected.
Is there any wiggle room on steel and aluminum in exchange for any budge on goods?
Not a lot, because if I do it for one, I have to do it for all.
President Donald Trump signed multiple executive actions this week, imposing a 50% tariff on Brazil, a 50% tariff on certain copper products, and said India would have to pay a 25% reciprocal tariff and possibly a penalty at the start of August. So what do these changes mean for Americans?
We'll see prices start to creep up.
The move signals an escalation of the Trump administration's trade war, impacting products that are crucial components in a variety of goods like copper, which is used in electronics, machinery, and cars. Also,
Coffee is a good example. It's something that's not grown in the United States.
While these trade talks have produced some wins for the U.S., like some overseas trading partners pledging increased investments, other countries like Canada are not playing ball. If tariffs on Canadian imports like lumber remain in place, A report from the Canadian Chamber of Commerce estimates the average cost of building a home in the U.S. could increase by an additional $14,000 by the end of 2027. And yet, all these tariffs could be changed once again inside a courtroom.
The authority for them is based on the president's emergency powers, and there's a court case pending on that, and the federal circuit could decide that he doesn't have those powers, in which case he's not allowed to levy these tariffs.
Today we warmed up just ever so slightly, so kind of kicking off the Amador County Fair with some slightly warmer weather. Temperatures reaching so far right around the mid to upper 90s throughout the valley, 70s along the coast. We've got near 80 to 90 degrees in the foothills and close to 80 up top for the Sierra. But again, far less widespread thunderstorms throughout the Sierra today. A quieter day and certainly a beautiful one to wrap up July. Now, we haven't gotten the official afternoon high yet. It does look like it's going to round out into the mid 90s, but still, all that being said, we had 20 days below average. So far, that average high 89.2 degrees, going to be one of the coolest that we've seen since 1990, likely coming in at number 4 in quite a contrast to last year, where 2024 was the hottest since 1990 and the 3rd hottest of all time. So we're going to be crunching the numbers for tonight, looking at all of those top 10 numbers coming in for July. It's not just been locally. Look at the 30-day max temperature departure throughout the state. You're seeing a whole lot of blue on that map because almost the entire coast has seen well below average temperatures. That translated to a beautiful onshore flow that brought that cooling breeze and the cooler than average temperatures throughout much of interior California. That helped on so many levels. The evaporation rates from some of our reservoirs, as well as the soil moisture, really kind of suppressing the very active fire season that we could be seeing right now. We are tracking numerous lightning strikes, though, and still that red flag warning in the northern part of the state hasn't really been a problem throughout much of the Tahoe Basin for today because most of that action is starting to slide its way eastward. We'll pick up a nice little onshore flow developing by the end of the weekend, the beginning of the weekend starting off on a warmer note, though. Very similar to what we saw for today, with readings in the 90s for the afternoon, 70s for Tahoe with sunny skies. Our sunset at 8:17. Now we're going to see Friday and Saturday pretty much playing out the same way. A little bit of stratus trying to press its way in from the Delta. Other than that, we'll see clearing skies and very little thunderstorm activity for the Tahoe region. So if you're planning to head up into the high country, it should be quite nice. If you're heading up towards the northern part of the state, though, just be prepared for more thunderstorms, rapidly changing conditions, and just be weather ready with that evacuation route and some shelter in place. Highs near 80 tomorrow for the Sierra, 80s and 90s down low throughout the foothills, with highs along the coast reaching the 60s. Inland areas were in the 80s to near 90s. So again, pretty similar to where we were for today to wrap us up for July and start off August. Our 5-day regional forecast, we are going to see mostly sunny skies for the weekend outlook in the mountains and the foothills. A mix of sun and clouds for the coast. Highs will be warming to near 70 by next week. Meantime, our extended forecast showcasing pretty much near average highs for the next couple of days. A nice end to the first weekend of August with a high near 90. We start off next week in the upper 80s and the 90s next week. We are going to be getting a little bit warmer, but again, nothing too extreme. We're getting really close to 100 though next week. Yeah,
What's going to happen?
I know.
Yeah, August off to a strong start then, but mildly strong.
There you go.
Okay, Monica, thank you.
In the shadow of Mount Hood, Oregon, there's a research facility hunting for a mysterious creature that many know as Sasquatch. At first glance, there's not a whole lot going on in the small town of Boring, Oregon. In all honesty, it looks like a lot of foothill communities that eventually lead up to Mount Hood. But if you let curiosity get the best of you, and you take the Boring exit right off Highway 26, I think you'll find something that'll catch your attention.
We're in the North American Bigfoot Center, which is located in Boring, Oregon. Despite the name of the city, I mean, there's great things happening here.
According to owner Cliff Barackman, Clackamas County has some of the highest reported Bigfoot sightings in Oregon, and that's exactly why he built the North American Bigfoot Center right here in Boring.
Clackamas County has the most sighting reports in Oregon because that's where people overlap with Sasquatches the most, like the habitat of both species overlap in this case. And most of that is because of Mountain Hood National Forest, which is one of the most heavily visited national forests in all of North America. They're here.
Cliff is not just a Bigfoot enthusiast. He was an evidence analyst on the hit Animal Planet show Finding Bigfoot.
I hosted that show along with 3 other people for 9 years. It was a very, very successful show. It taught me a lot about Sasquatches and kind of put me in the public eye and gave me an opportunity to do something like this.
The North American Bigfoot Center is not just a museum. Cliff says it's a research center full of evidence.
Here at the NABC, we have a sample loop of a number of vocalizations that are recorded both by me and other researchers throughout the country.
Along with Bigfoot sounds, there's hordes of photographs taken from all over the world and a library of videos that have been vetted by Bigfoot investigators.
We have photographs of Sasquatches, we have videos, one of which was taken in Roseburg that can be seen nowhere else in the world except for right here.
Where'd you get 'em? How'd you get 'em?
Film and TV have portrayed Bigfoot as a mythical creature for decades, but Cliff says the evidence and real human sightings of Bigfoot have been reported all over the world, and skeptics can see the proof right here.
So I hope that by exposing people to the actual scientific evidence that is out there that they've never seen before, maybe they'll say, hey, maybe there is something there. After all, that's how I started.
Cliff admits he personally has only encountered Bigfoot a few times since he started hunting them, but those few times were all it took him to believe and to share his beliefs with others.
I'll never be rich, but I have something the billionaires don't. I have enough. My bills are paid, and I have a great way to make a living that I love every single day.
From the North American Bigfoot Center, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
Tonight in our Champions of Hope, we introduce you to a quick-thinking student who jumped right into action during a moment of crisis.
16-year-old Bennett Dixon had just stepped out of her sports medicine class at Western Sierra Collegiate Academy in Rockland when she noticed a group of students in the hallway.
Right after I'd walked by, I heard someone yell out, "He's choking, he's choking."
Dixon's mother, Bethany Cates, a teacher at the school, attempted to perform the Heimlich, but
I didn't push hard enough. I also had my hand in the wrong position.
That's when Bennett stepped in to help.
I told him not to move, and it worked first try, and it was very surprising, I gotta say. And then after that, I made sure the kid was okay, and I went to math class.
After she had dislodged whatever it was, his color came back immediately, and she tapped him on the shoulder and was like, "Thumbs up?"
Incredibly, Bennett had just learned the technique.
Not even an hour before, my sports medicine teacher, Dr. Navarro, had demonstrated how to do the Heimlich. I remembered the exact chapter from my sports medicine textbook that taught us how to do it. And in the moment, I'm like, okay, I better do this before this kid drops to the ground because I can't do that next step.
I was so proud. Bennett has a great heart for others, and it was one of those things where something needed to be done, and she knew what it was.
Bennett didn't just pass her math test.
I actually got a perfect score.
But later got another surprise.
One of the teachers I knew asked me for help doing something, and then I was suddenly in the middle of the gym, and there were people. There were a lot of people there. They had this awesome speech, which was cool, and then I had 2 awards, and it was awesome and nerve-wracking.
I was there. I cried. She's wonderful. I'm so grateful for Superintendent Stout and just the administration for taking the time to do that.
Despite the praise, Bennett remains humble, something Mom couldn't be more proud of.
I think that one of the things we try to do is impact the world with excellence, and it's not just a statement. It's really when you're looking for opportunities where you can do good things, you step in and do the good thing. So I think that she really exemplified that, and I'm so proud of her.
California State Fair wrapped up Sunday night. They had a good run, but this morning, the #1 small county fair. That's what they say. That starts up in beautiful Plymouth. ABC 10's Marcus Allen has more from the Amador County Fairgrounds. Mark?
It's the best name ever.
Yeah, don't mind me just getting to know Iceman. I love that you're named after a character in Top Gun. Do you like Top Gun? Did you find Maverick derived from the... No, okay, nothing. Hey, yeah, welcome to the fair. This is Luke Lyman. Luke, I guess you don't have a free hand, but hey, congratulations on this giant hunk of beef.
Thank you.
All right, how much do you think, Iceman? By the way, this has been going on all morning long while we stage for our live shot. The cow hides behind everybody. Like, if you don't see me, there's no cow here. Where'd it go? Anyway, if you could imagine behind you a giant cow, how much does it weigh?
About 1,200 pounds.
And why do you do this? Why do you raise it? I guess the end result is to try to make money, right?
Yeah, and to know where my meat comes from.
Yeah.
And to better understand that.
What kind of dollar are you going to get if this, if you win top honors?
Top steer could go for maybe $8,000 or $9,000.
Okay. It seems like a lot of money, but at the same time, I bet it cost a lot. You probably put how much in to create that?
Probably about $7,000.
Got it. I can tell it's antsy. We're going to let you take it for a walk, and I'll tell you what we're looking at when it goes for the walk. Rachel, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I've been covering this fair for a minute. I was here about 5 years ago, and here we are again.
Yeah, definitely a full circle moment.
All right, so you're the president of the
Amador County Junior Fair Board.
Got it. And let's go down the line, get to know everybody. You are
Ashlyn, I'm the vice president.
And
Gianna, and I'm in charge of fundraising.
And
Charlie, and I'm head of exhibits.
All right, Morgan, bring it home.
And I'm Morgan, the treasurer.
That's awesome. By the way, anytime we're doing a live broadcast, if you could have a name tag on, it's so helpful. Thank you so much. So what do you all get out of this? What brings you joy?
Yeah, so the Junior Fair Board is for us to learn about the fair and what goes on at the fair so that we can someday hopefully be the future leaders of the fair and put on the fair ourselves.
That's awesome. And what's the best thing? So forget about all the work that you have to do here. When you get to go enjoy the fair, what's your favorite thing at the fair?
Definitely interacting with the community.
Yeah. How about you?
I'd say the same thing, and just being a role model to kids.
Got it. How about you?
Probably the funnel cakes.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Not the talking head, media trained answers, the funnel cakes. What's your favorite thing?
Oh, I'm going to have to go with corn dogs.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, hey, thank you. That's what we call a tease. Coming up on ABC10 Plus after 7 a.m., Rich Hoffman, the CEO, promises to do what?
The corn dog song.
He's created a corn dog song, and there's a corn dog cannon that you can experience at the fair. You're going to see the cannon, but before the cannon, a special corn dog song. That might be the first full shot we've got of Iceman. That is a beautiful cow over there. As he walks it around, what are judges looking for when he walks it around?
Yeah, they're looking for the composition of the animal. They're looking how much meat versus waste product is on that animal. So there's a yield grade, there's a quality grade. He's looking at the quality of the meat. So whether or not it's going to be a good table fair.
Speaking of the quality of the meat, what's up, Walt?
Oh my gosh, I'm getting an emotional attachment to the livestock, and we're talking about what cut of beef here. Whoa. So the corn dog thing at 7 a.m., did Rich write this song? I'm assuming he did.
Yeah, the industry, like the Grammy judges already leaning into it. Did you write this song? How did it happen?
Yeah, I was inspired by the delicious crispiness of corn dogs. And you put a banjo in your hand, magic happens.
He broke off a sample. It's definitely something you're going to want to hear. It's going to make history in the 7.
Yep.
Meat yield.
Yeah, you put a banjo in somebody's hands and all bets are off. All right, Marcus Allen and the legendary Rich Hoffman. What great kids out there, future leaders of America.
Thanks for watching this ABC10 Plus recap. We are here 24/7 on the free ABC10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Chris Thomas. We'll see you next time.